gone back. What was back? Good morning, and what a beautiful day it is outside. Although it is very frosty. It's about -3, -4. But it's time to get up. Oh, and the other thing that I've noticed today, 7:20, and it was already, the sun was already starting to come up. But today is the first day of something new. I've decided for a while to try a milkman service. So this is my delivery, some laundry. I think that's cranberry juice and some milk. A bit of bread and some eggs. Fresh from the hens this morning. Oh, I wonder if they are all hens, just different types. Oh well, I'm sure they'll be beautiful. I always used to go to the supermarket to buy it, but I just thought, let's support a local business and try it out for a while. Maybe it might not work out, but then it might work out, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so I'm just going to do it once a week for the month, and then we'll see how we go with that, and then if I need to increase it or decrease it. I haven't worked out whether it's slightly cheaper or not, but it was the cheapest of the milk deliveries when I compared it to the other one that I had a few years ago. But there's something quite nice about waking up in the morning and going to your front door to collect your pint of milk. Plus, glass bottles, saving the planet and all that stuff. So I'm assuming it's a bit like in the old days. We save the bottles, put them outside, and then they come and collect them. There's something refreshing about getting up and going out to get your milk. Oh, that's really put me in the spirit of a mood, if that is even a sentence. Right, now I've got to go down to the river and get some water for my tea. Not down to an actual river, you know, but it just makes you feel that we've got one of these soft water things in the house to soften the water for all the machines. But I find that when we first had it installed, I had a tingling sensation on the mouth. So we had a tap installed that doesn't go through the system. So what I'm getting here is proper water from the system before it goes through the water softener. I just equate it to popping down to the river to get some water. Right, start the day as we mean to go on with a nice cup of tea. Now what's this I've bought? Eco Bio Laundry Mix. I think we keep the bottles and then they come back and collect the bottles next week. But this can be used in machines, and it also can be used in the washing bowl. The most exciting thing I did over Christmas was to clean out my cupboards. There you go. So I can open the cupboard now. I've got all my tea bags, my what's that? Almonds, chia seeds, my oats, and then at the back there. And the reason why it's at the back is because it's difficult to get out. That's a little healthy bar. That's as exciting as my Christmas got. I always used to have semi-skimmed milk, but this is a full fat one, and I don't know, the information, you get a bit confused after a while when they say full fat is good for you, but just don't have too much of it, or don't have it at all. It's a bit confusing. But milk bottles, we always used to have them, and on a Monday they would come and collect the bottles. So my mother used to put these out on the step on a Sunday evening, and this one particular day there was about 20 of them stacked up on the living room floor, ready to go out, and I forgot about them, and I ran into the house and put my foot straight through the middle of the milk bottles. And I'm not going to show you a close-up, but on my foot there's a scar on one of my toes of where I had put my foot through the middle of the milk bottles, and there was blood everywhere. So I think about that every time I see a milk bottle. Maybe that's why I haven't had it for so long. Maybe there was a bit of, what's it called? PTSD about it. I was just about to start making breakfast and something caught my eye in the garden. Where is it? There it is, look at that, a woodpecker. If it gets into focus. Just flew straight across the garden and latched onto that tree. Beautiful colours. It's amazing, the colours. If you were to look at that tree now, you probably couldn't find it. But it's still there. There it is. I wonder if he's trying to get to the insects. Oh, thanks for that. Sometimes when I start filming, I have an idea of what I'm going to film. But this is Sean's vlogs, so anything can happen. And I picked up the camera today just because it was a nice sunny morning. So I've got no idea what's going to be in this one. But I'm about to make my breakfast, and I thought you might be interested to see, because I've been on this intermittent fasting, so I only eat between the hours of 10 and 5 every day. And within those hours, I have 3 meals, 3 healthy meals. So I'm just getting my food ready now for when it's 10 o'clock. It's 9:45 now. And oh, I've got a gadget. I bought a gadget the other day which will help me with my food. But this is what I'm having today. So I've just measured out. I've got 1 egg and 155. What is it? Let me check. 1 egg and 155 grams of egg whites. Just mix it all up together, put a splash of milk in, and also some pepper, and that is my scrambled egg. Usually I would add, what's it called, butter, but since doing healthy eating, I've cut that out. This is quite difficult to do with just one hand, so I'll be back in a minute. pop that in the microwave for 1 minute 20 seconds, and then when that pings I take it out. I do the same thing with the fork, scrub it all up again, and then put it in for another 1 minute and 20 seconds. Does your cat eat the leaves of the houseplants? They love this palm, don't you? They've had breakfast. They just love a bit of greenery to start the day off as well. And it keeps it pruned. And that is what it looks like when it's finished. It might look a bit anemic, but it tastes exactly the same as normal scrambled egg. Beautiful. I've been thinking lately about moving on from London. It's been something that's been in my mind for a while. And I was thinking last night about going back to where I was born, in Wales. I've just had a conversation with a friend of mine on the garden here. And I said, but I need to work out in my head, why am I going back? Financially, it would be a lot easier, but I need to realize that if I went back to where I was born, things have changed. So obviously everybody that I knew there has died. The place has changed, the structure of the place has changed, the organizations I used to be a part of have changed. So I need to work out in my head, if I was to go back to that exact place, I would be going to a new place because it has changed so much, rather than going back into an old world that I had about 30 years ago. So all that's gone. And he said you should never go back to where you were born because it's changed and it would ruin the memories. And I just thought I'd just put the camera on and just ask you the question. Have any of you gone back to where you were born? And what was it like? Was it a good move, or did you regret it? I don't know, it's just there's a lot going on in my head at the moment about, do I actually want to stay in London? Have I had my fill of it? Have I used it to the best of my ability, and is it time to move on? I've been here for just over 15 years now, which sounds a hell of a long time. So yeah, that's my question to you. Have you gone back, and what was it like? So I've just finished filming down in Hyde Park, and I was heading home, and I decided to visit Marylebone, a beautiful little village in central London, and I saw these nice gardens, so I thought I'll get these on film, because it's not often that you see gardens like this in central London. And here's a little plaque to explain it's to help the water and the air quality in this area. But I just love grasses. You could do this in a lot more areas, and it'd be nice to come back in the summer and see how it looks then, especially those two beds on each side of the crossing there. It's really nice. I noticed on this tree outside the window, it's starting to come into bud. which is about 6 weeks early this year. That's why I say I think we're going to get an early spring. Now, when I go out for my walks, I take a flask of tea. Unfortunately, this fell on the bus on the last ramble, so it sort of sits like the Leaning Tower of Pisa now, but I think it'll still be okay. But I had never thought about this until I saw it on somebody else's video. Apparently, there are now flasks, or they've been around for ages, which is for food. So in the top here, you get a spoon, and the opening is big so that you could scoop your food out of it. But then I realised the other day, if you've got a bit of soup, just put your soup into there. Bit of tomato soup out on the road, and that is so big you could even put some cauliflower in. And the other thing, for an extra £1, they did an inscription on the side. I think I got it from Amazon, I'm not entirely sure now. And it worked out about £15. So I've used it in the garden, haven't been out on a ramble yet. But I thought I would just highlight that for you because, like I said, until I had seen it on somebody else's video, I never knew they existed. So now I've got 2 flasks. One for my tea and one for my food. Beautiful. I was also recently sent a teapot by a viewer, and you've got the teapot on the top and a cap at the bottom. I haven't tried it out yet. I might do that later, but yeah, look at that. So when you go into the garden, you just take the whole thing with you. Beautiful. I will order milk again from the Milkman, but I'm not too sure about the bread. When I looked at the bread, the best before date was the next day. I think that's one of the downsides with these home deliveries, is you're putting your trust in them to give you something that will last a few days. But a friend of mine, he does one of these box services where they send you meals, and he finds recently that a lot of his food on there has got a best before date of a day or 2 after the box has turned up. And I know that the best before date is just a indication, but with the stuff that I've seen, you can see it with your eyes that it's on the turn and it's going off. So the best before date should really be a use by date. And I was reading in the paper the other day that a lot of products now are going to be best before, and the use by date is going to be taken off. And I think a lot of people need to educate themselves on telling when something has gone off. I remember, about 6 years ago now, I lived with somebody, and his potatoes, he pulled the potatoes out of the cupboard and they were covered in chits, and he threw them away. And I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, they've gone off. And he just threw an entire packet of potatoes in the bin. They were still in their plastic container, so I took them out of the bin and I ate them instead. But yeah, the best way to find out if something's gone off is just give it a sniff. You can always tell. Your nose is the best indicator. What do you think about best before? The only thing that I've never been sure of is fish. I had some fish once and it smelt, I don't know, on the turn, and I gave it to a few people and they said it smelled fine, but I didn't feel secure. I went with my gut feeling and threw it in the bin. Because I had a feeling that if I'd eaten it, my gut would have told me the next day. Another beautiful day today. Cold, but beautiful. I'm hoping to get out onto a ramble today. Don't know where I'm going yet, so find out on Sunday. Also hoping to get into the garden. Apparently we're going to get snow in 2 weeks in London. So I want to get down to the garden, do a bit of cleaning up before that snow comes. Anyway, I need a cup of tea to warm up. I'll catch up with you next Wednesday. So from me until then, from a freezing London, bye for now.